Hi there. Welcome to Own It 2013 here on the campus of Metro State University. My name is Harrison Welsheimer, owner of MusicMunch. I'm sitting here with Kyle Zender and Hill Baker of Paer, correct?
That is right.
Great. A duo band based here in Denver, Colorado. So wanted to start out, guys, with you, Kyle. As a manager and musician myself, I'm learning right away that you have to do a lot more than just one thing solely to make a living in music, at least to get started, to get the ball rolling. Now, tell us about, I know you own a record studio and you're a performing musician. How do you manage the two?
I think you're absolutely right. You have to be a jack of all, and then if you can become a master of a few along the way, then you're doing all right. But that's the way that it has to be done to network. You got to build your network around you if you want to be a successful freelance musician, person, whatever, engineer. You really have to put yourself out there, do as much as different things as you can, get experience, and meet as many different people as you can, and that's my goal, and that's what I'm all about, and that's how I feel like I've been able to gain a little bit of a success along the way.
Yep. You said networking. That is something that I hear a lot because I do a lot of studying on my own, and that is almost always after talent and hard work. It's networking.
It's who you know.
It's who you know, and I think in this business for sure, definitely you got to have that talent to show them. But the person who knows the most usually wins the game.
And that's why we're here, really. I mean,
Yep.
I met Angela Kerr through the Driftin' Sons, who I met through working at the Toad Tavern, and then I recorded their album.
Right.
And then here we are today because Angela works for the Center for Innovation. They're doing this event, so that's just one example of how you can how doors open for you the more people that you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said that's why I'm here as well. Guys, yeah, really enjoyed your album. But for two guys, it's a huge sound. And Hill, I know I saw you were listed as keys, drums, guitar. How do you maintain a high level of musicianship on all three instruments?
Thanks. Certainly, it really boils down to just playing as much as possible and practicing as much as possible. I've sort of moved from instrument to instrument over the years for a number of different reasons, but ultimately, it's a good challenge to try to play more than one instrument at once, particularly to play the keyboard and the drum parts at the same time. And logistically speaking, it's much easier. Although that's a limitation in some ways, it's also very very liberating in some ways too. And it's logistically much easier for us to just be a duo and just work with two people. It makes a lot of other things easier. So.
Yeah, I imagine moving equipment, your setup is a lot easier in ways because this is what we have and this is what we know. We know how to work around each other.
Sure, and scheduling rehearsals, writing music
course.
Is much easier when you're just collaborating with one other individual.
And then you get to split money. It's a lot more lucratively.
There's a lot of advantages.
For sure.
We're going to start seeing a lot more duos after this interview.
It makes you really...
Bob, we're cutting you out of the band.
Yeah. It makes you understand the dude who's just rocking his acoustic guitar and singing. It's just like, that is easy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Once you start adding people, it gets complicated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So logistically it's simpler, but musically it's more challenging.
Yes.
Which is a win-win as far as the way we look at it.
Because you want a challenge. When on a day-to-day basis, how do you practice or schedule your practice to try and get as much done as possible if you're needing to be sharp on all three?
So part of what I do here in town is I also teach. I teach at Red Rocks Community College and I teach at the Denver Music Institute. So those hours and the time that I spend teaching there allow me to sneak in practice on respective instruments. And then beyond that, we rehearse as much as we possibly can, although we're pretty busy, so we have to sneak it in where it's possible. And then we just try to refine new material as much as possible and prepare for whatever's coming up next, and just do the best job that we can.
Right, fabulous. So last question for the both of you: what does own it mean to you from an entrepreneurial perspective?
I think that one of the things Angela has really been inspirational about is taking, full control of what you're doing, and I see that what she does with the Drifting Suns.
Yeah.
There's so many facets to what you do as a musician and as a self-managing band, that Own It is kind of just a really cool way that we can all kind of get together and show everybody this is what we do, this is what we're trying to put out there, and really just showing people like this is the fruits of what we are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that also goes for me for I'm going to be mixing the show, so that's just another thing as well, just
Right.
getting ourselves out there.
What about you, Hill?
Certainly, I agree with that for sure. It's largely about exposure and making sure that that we're all able to take whatever we're doing creatively and put it out for the world to see, and not keep that to ourselves, not be selfish about it, and try to share what we're doing with everybody that we can. And also, take full responsibility for it when it's not that great.
Yes, yeah. and make sure as much as possible that it is great.
For sure.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, you're right. You just said it right there. There's so many people putting content out there, and what you guys put out there, like you said, own it. I'm proud of this. I put it out there.
Exactly.
For sure.
And it stands the test of time.
Definitely.
Gentlemen, it was a pleasure. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Harrison.
Cheers.
Cheers.